Well, I brought some work up to share the progress, the cabling and harness concepts. What I'm working on is a coupling between the engine and the tender, where the coupler, the pin that connects them, the link, I'm going to add some openings on the side of it, and these are the channel is going to be a cable, what they call it, a cable tunnel, wire tunnel. The wires are going to come through it, and then I'm going to have up here, I'm going to have a hole that goes up into the firebox, and so the wiring is going to come down here, plug in, come out of this socket, go up into here, and on this piece, I've made a hole, and what you'll see on the top is a pair of holes, and the idea is that this thing will then be able to pivot as it goes around. It will pivot like this, okay, as we make turns and back. So it will have capability, flexibility. Let's see if I can get it in here for you. There we go. It'll have flexibility, and will pivot, but we'll still be able to plug and unplug. I'm not going to use tie wraps, okay? I'm going to fatten this thing up. It's going to make it look really pregnant on both sides, but it's going to house all the cabling, and they'll be transparent. I may put it more near the bottom so that the cables come down and go, the cables go down and come underneath more than along the side, so it doesn't look too bad. I have room, if we put the wheels here, this has space under it, so the cables could come down and come under and then go up. Okay, geez, I don't watch what I'm doing here. The cables could come down here, come across. Here would be the connectors inside a tube, so to speak, that is this same coupling. It's all one plastic piece. So it goes through it, and then it comes up there. So it's encapsulated, it's captured, it won't drag, it won't pinch, and it will come apart. I might make it two pieces, so you'd have a screw in the middle. You loosen the screw, and the bottom would come out, and then you could pull the cables out, unplug them, and take the thing away. That may be a way to do it. If I make this thick enough, I can make it do all of that and still pivot, no problem. The other thing I wanted to show was what I've been doing in the tender itself. The tender chassis is getting quite a bit modification. Here you can see how the holes are coming up. One of these would be the chuff trigger. This is 24 gauge. And one over here would be power for the puff and chuff, which is like 5 volts, a couple amps, not a deal. These two are the long ones go back to the motor controller, and that's the 22 gauge, and that's good for 7 amps. And this is the power coming out of the buck boost board for smoke. And the smoke, as you know, takes quite a bit of power, so we need to make sure it's set up. A fun part about the fan I wanted to show you is I've molded in, or I've designed in, a holder for this thing so that it's actually held inside a cavity. Get it out, it just slides out, you see, but it's a cavity, and it was designed so that the fan fits, and as you can see, I radius the front so the blower will pull that air in, and underneath we've got a really huge, very large opening where the fan will blow out, and then of course there'll be a truck back here and a coupling, so it'll blow out onto the coupling and off to the sides. It should have plenty of room for the air to go. And these are all the other mounting holes for the other bits that go on. Here is the 2 buck boost boards. In that cavity is the soundboard. This would be the motor control board, and off of here is the power distribution board, all the same stuff. And now the fan has got its own little piece at the back, which is lovely. The only mod I had to make was I had to shorten your tail light lens from the inside, and I had to flatten these little kinked things to hold the ladder on, and I screwed up the paint. But if you tell me what color that is, I'll touch that up. I mean, it's impossible not to when you're putting all this together. But so now these are the only wires that come in from the engine, so I've got all that now done. The other connections will be interconnections, like coming up from the trucks the all-wheel pickup going to the power, and then power from the power distribution to the buck boost boards, and I forget what else. Maybe the soundboard has a power, so there's about 6 more wires that I have to put on, plus the pickups. That's 4 more. So I got 14 wires altogether, which is really not bad. But putting 8 wires front to back is the problem. So this looks like a black blob. It's not going to look like that when I'm done with it. It's going to look like, it might be black, but it will be a smooth looking engineered part. It won't look like tape and tie wraps and all that. I think it's going to be okay, all right? And it'll still have the pivot, and it'll be freewheeling, and all the wiring will be up and out of the way. I've got the engine designed now. It fits in here. I've done that multiple times. It works really well. This is a design I'm not done with yet, but it's one that I had that fits, so I've just put it in here. But this has a firebox bottom, and what that does, it just sort of hides the bottom of the engine, so that by the time you get to here, you've got the chassis and the wheels. So when you look underneath, you don't see the armature and the brush holder and all the dirt. And you won't see any of the wiring either. I don't want to see that, okay? You can see I got some pins that just stick straight out. I'm going to bend those back and make sure they're not in the way for anything that goes up in there. I did a test on the stack, and the stack lines up perfectly. So I don't know how you had that hole in there, but you put it in the perfect position. Okay, that's what I got done the last couple of days. All this thinking about the wiring is just really tough. But I thought putting this bracket in here, so there's I put a spot for a screw, but I don't think you need it. This damn thing's not going to come out. It's going to be really nice. And this hole we won't use. I can plug it or just leave it for air to flow in through the fan and out. So I'm going to build this one up with extra parts and use it as like a mock-up for the cable design. Then I'm going to create all new harness for the real engine, and tomorrow I'll work on designing this part here and making sure that gets done right, and actually fitting this and finding the real one, print a new one if I have to, get the firebox ironed out. I'll get the trucks. I've got the 6-wheel trucks, 4-wheel trucks, and I got the 6-wheel that look like the Hudson and the Northern. Those trucks, I can't find my old design. I have to redesign them a little bit, but they look okay. Six trucks. Okay, so this is what I got done the last few days. And it doesn't look like much, but I feel really good about it. This is going to come together, and it's going to look like it came out of a factory somewhere, a little bit like a factory. Okay, that's it for the day. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.